Good morning to you once again. Welcome to Morning at NTV. Glad to be in your company. I am Priscilla Regina Naloga, and this is your Kickstarter. We do have 1 month into the financial year 2023-2024, and we've been receiving assessments from different sectors as well as institutions on their performance expectedly and vis-a-vis what the budget has for them from government. This morning, we're going to be looking into the judiciary. We're going to be speaking to the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, and that is Dr. Pius Bigirimana, to give us a picture of what achievements they have had in the previous financial year, 2022-2023, what challenges they faced then that have carried on to this current financial year, and what's the way forward. What are some of the things that they are planning to do with the budget? Now, speaking of the judiciary budget, government allocated a total of 392 billion Ugandan shillings to the judiciary for the financial year 2023-2024. A total of 108 billion was earmarked for wages. You do have a total of 220 billion earmarked for non-wage and a total of 63 billion for development. He's going to be giving us a breakdown of how this money is going to be used to achieve the things that the judiciary has put out to achieve. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Well, good to have you on the program with us here, Doctor. Now, we want to first find out from you, what have been the major milestones and achievements for the judiciary in the recently concluded financial year 2022-2023?
2022-2023 financial year, we had a number of achievements, and prominent among them are the recruitment that took place. And this recruitment was enabled by the Administration of the Judiciary Act, which gave us a more sound establishment and structure of the judicial officers. And because of that, we recruited a lot of staff. 281 staff were recruited. Out of these 281, 67 were judicial officers and 216 were non-judicial staff. And we also operationalized the 6 high court circuits. That is Iganga, Tororo, Ruwero, Hoima, Rukunjiri, and Moroto. And also procured vehicles for these judicial staff and also support staff, to the tune of 5,000 vehicles and 52 motorcycles. And to us, this is very important because these vehicles are used to visit workers, especially to do with the land inspection before the judgments are made. The motorcycles, because process servers have to deliver summons to the people are required in court. We had ongoing projects like construction of courts, both in Kampala and upcountry. But prominent in Kampala, you look at the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, which is outside here. We are on schedule. 92% of the Supreme Court is ready. 85% is ready. We are remaining with those small percentages, and we hope that by end of November, the 2 structures will be ready. As I said before, these 2 structures are 10-story, with 8 floors above the ground and 2 floors underground for parking. We shall be able to accommodate 226 vehicles at a single go. We have got other construction that took place. Like Mukono, we finished the High Court circuit. We have constructions that are going on in Soroti, in Rukunjiri, and we have got majestic areas in Budaka, Patongo, Adepatongo, Jantonde, and these are under construction. But we also had renovation of courts in Mbare, Makindye, Hoima, and Ruwero. Then Kisoro, Tungamo, Tororo, Masindi were also renovated. We also had automation of court, ECMIS. If you have heard about ECMIS, that is Electronic Court Case Management Information System, where people are supposed to file online, pay online, monitor the progress of their cases online up to the end. Then we had also video conferencing. Video conferencing equipment to enable cases to be heard online instead of transporting prisoners from, let's say, Ruzira. They stay there, the judge is here, and the case can go on. Because of many risks involved, you avoid those risks. Yeah, so in summary, that is what we have done in the last 1 year.
You have also mentioned the automation of courts. You have spoken of a system, ECMIS. I want to understand, has there been any proper conducted training for the system users of this new technology?
No, it depends on the users. We have got judges, for example. We've got court clerks. We had even the lawyers in town. And we are still training, because training is a continuous process. New modules coming in, issues raised by the users have to be factored in. So training is continuous. It's not a one-day affair. But depending on the usage, because there are people who are super users, there are others who are there to give support, there are others who are beneficiaries. So the training is not same period. But we had training for like 1 week, 2 weeks for the judges and the registrars and the magistrates.
And so far, with the adoption of the ICT innovation within the judiciary, what would you say have been the appreciations as well as the challenges of using this innovation system?
The first challenge which we met actually was the mentality. You know, people fear change. Why? Because they don't know what changes are going to bring. There are those who said, let's wait and see. There are those who fought it because they thought that this system was going to deny them some benefits. Some of them personal, but there are those who are exploiting the system. And they thought that this one was going to shortcut their profits. So that was the first challenge, the mind. So we had to sensitize them. We had to assure them that this is a system that is good for them. Because with this system, you can file from anywhere. Whether in your sitting room, whether in the office, whether you are in the air and there is Wi-Fi in the aeroplane, you file. Whether it is midnight, you file. So we had to sensitize them that in their interest, that they get familiar with this system. And we told them that they better do it quickly because we are not reversing. There is no retreat. So they have come on board. That was challenge number one. But challenge number two is to do with the internet. Because the internet, the stability of the internet has been a challenge to us. But we are trying to see how we can get more bandwidth from NITA. We are working with the NITA, and we hope that soon it will be very stable. Now, the third issue was to do with the power. There are some courts which have got an unreliable power. But in all of these courts where we are going ECMIS, we are trying to see whether we can get backups. In some of these courts, I think we are going to have solar introduced so that we don't have these lapses.
Well, Doctor, we all know that with the adaptation of technology, some people will have to lose jobs. When you look at the human resource capacity here at the judiciary, won't this technology, won't this system actually lead to some people losing their jobs?
We are retraining those who are already in the job. For example, the court clerks, the registrars who were there are not going away. They have also had a training. But I don't think that is going to, it's not going to affect people who are, because we didn't have them anyway. So we are trying to even consolidate those we have so that they can acquire new skills and handle the system.
Now let's look to another automation of courts. I know that you'll be introducing the video conferencing. What are going to be the benefits of introduction of video conferencing in dispensation of justice for us here in Uganda?
First of all, one is speed at which work is done. Two is accuracy. Three is the safety. When you talk about video conferencing, we're talking about a judge being in a court hall and the prisoners stay in their prisons. Look at the time it takes to bring prisoners here. That time is saved. Look at the risks involved in bringing the prisoners. One, the vehicle can overturn. And we have had it before. So it's not new. It has never happened before where prisoners, some of them died because of that accident that took place. Three, we have got the problem of prisoners even escaping. You imagine you bring them here as they get out of the vehicle, they strangle the guard and they run away. So you have got the problem of looking for them. But the congestion also. So you avoid so many things. It saves money, it saves time, it is convenient for everybody. And as we talk, we started with only Uganda Road and here. But we have now moved to more than 14 courts. We have got Supreme Court is on, Court of Appeal is on, High Court Civil Division is on, behind here, the Commercial Division is on, Mbarara is on, Arua, Masindi, Masaka, Jinja, Soroti, Rira, Fort Poto, Kabare, Mubende, and Mbari. Within only last year and last year but one. So for me, I want to think we are doing well. And if it continues the way we are doing it, I can assure you we shall cover all of the high court circuits. And delivery of services to the people of Uganda will be improved. And that's what the people want.
So we'll be having this automation in the courtroom. However, when it comes to the prisons, are you going to be designing courtrooms in the prison settings to be able to then amalgamate with these systems?
We are working with the management of prisons so that they can set aside some room where these prisoners can be. Because you are not talking about all the prisoners coming at a go. We are talking about so and so is being tried. He appears alone and is questioned. He answers, finishes, goes back, bring another one, like that, like that. So it doesn't need a lot of space. What is required is to have the systems put in place.
All right. So in the same financial year, one of the things that have been loud and clear from the judiciary is the case backlog. I know that COVID-19, the 2 years did disrupt what was happening in the judiciary, setting it far back. But I know that there's also other things that have contributed to the judiciary's case backlog. What are some of those things?
You see, case backlog has been a problem. And this has affected a number of things. One, the delay in disposing of cases has got an economic and social implications. Take, for example, the cases that are in the commercial court. We've got cases, according to our findings, cases worth 83 trillion shillings. 83 trillion shillings. These cases are related to trade, others are in banking, others are in insurance, others are in construction, others are in the intellectual properties. You imagine all of these cases. Some have got a foreign implication. You imagine if these cases were disposed of and the money goes into the economy. Ministry of Finance would have a wider tax base to collect revenue because the money now is being used. And even if it was not all 83 trillion, even if it was only 40 trillion, half of it. Remember the budget for this country this year is about 53 trillion, not so. So imagine if 40 trillion is released into these sectors I've talked about. Then there will be production. Then finance will get more money. That is number one. Number two, look at the land. Disputes connected to land ownership have got implication for livelihoods of people. Because people are not going to develop that land because there's dispute. You go there and say, if you come here, we shall cut you into pieces. But, so in other words, land cannot be developed. But we have also got the element of investment. If cases that are being handled delay, then the investors will ask questions. If we go to invest in Uganda and we have got disputes, can our cases be handled quickly? Because investors want to invest where they are going to get profits. It's business. They are not charitable organizations. So we are now set to really address this issue, case backlog. How are we going to do it? And how have we been doing it? One, recruiting more judges so they can address this case backlog. Two, establish special sessions. In fact, last week, the Chief Justice appointed a committee of judges, of retired judges, to come in to help us into mediation. Judges of good repute who have retired but they can still serve. They are coming in to help us address these cases that have stayed for a long time through mediation. And you know mediation is one of the best methods of dispute resolution because when you mediate, everybody wins and there is no appeal. Then we are also looking at other alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, like pre-bargaining. You plead you are guilty, instead of wasting court's time, you are fined and sentenced maybe less years and you go. Small claims procedure, where I owe you 5 million, instead of going to litigation, we agree and I pay you. You save court business. So we are trying to find all ways possible to see how we can reduce on case backlog. As I have told you through video conferencing. Then there is also something that I signed a contract recently of judgment tour, judgment writing tour. You know, many times these cases delay because the judges are writing. When you are in the court, the judge is looking at you and is writing instead of looking at you. Right. So we are saying, let's see how we can help these judges. One, to record. Record instead of writing. And then I concentrate on you. To look at you and see how your body language behaves. When you are being fired questions, by then I can conclude that you are a thief, or you are a liar, or you are a what, by looking at you. The way your eyes are turning, the way your lips are moving. I say, this person, they call it demeanor. So now the judicial officer will concentrate on you as the recording is being done. But the judgment writing tool is going to help the judges to quicken. It's going to be like a standard measure. So that the judges, instead of wasting time into a lot of rugambo, they are precise to the point. So, there we are.
Okay. Looking at that judgment writing tool, what's the relationship between it and the digital court recording and transcription system that has also been introduced in the judiciary?
It's part of the reform program. We are killing the bird with so many instruments. Oral is part and parcel of reducing the time it takes to deliver services. People of Uganda need the services. They are tired of having cases in court for years and years.
I know that alongside the backlog in cases, it has also been highly fueled by the fact that the judiciary was understaffed. Is there any resolution towards staffing of the judiciary to be able to mitigate case backlog?
Oh, yes. 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 I told you, when the Administration of Judicial Act was put in place, it gave us an opportunity to recruit. The structure and establishment of judicial staff went up. For example, the judges of the Supreme Court have been increased. The positions, not the filling of the positions, from 11 to 21. Those of the Court of Appeal increased from 15 to 56. Those of the High Court from 83 to 151. And the magistrates from 669 to 967. You see? And according to the information which I can give you, as I told you, 281 staff were recruited. Non-judicial staff, 67. And, non-judicial staff, 216. And the judicial staff, 67. So you can see that that Administration of Judicial Act gave us an opportunity to recruit more staff. At first, it was the judicial officers. But second, recently, this year actually, the structured establishment for non-judicial staff was also approved by Cabinet, which now gives us a great opportunity to recruit as we get money. Because we shall not recruit all these people to go. It will be gradual. As we get money, we recruit. As we get money, we recruit. To support the judicial staff. In the last year, we had 3 judges recruited of the Supreme Court. We had 1 judge of the Court of Appeal. We had 17 judges of the High Court, 1 registrar, 14 deputy registrars, 8 assistant registrars, 20 chief magistrates, 1 magistrate grade 1, and 216, as I said, non-judicial staff. If you have been following, last month, another 11 judges have been appointed. We're waiting for them to be sworn in, and this will improve really on our staff levels.
How about any other plans that you have as judiciary when it comes to recruitment to fill in the different various gaps, given the fact that there is new operational facilities that are coming on board in the near future?
We have to bear in mind that judicial officers cannot work alone. Because if we don't take care of the non-judicial staff to support them, then they will have challenges. So we intend to gradually have non-judicial staff, especially those who are helping the judicial officers, like court clerks, process servers, drivers. We are buying vehicles, so we must have drivers. The only challenge right now is that this financial year, there has been, they have frozen the recruitment. But we are going to make a case so that Ministry of Finance can allow us to have selectively appointed, recruited the staff. And I think they will agree.
What about budget allocation? Because when we look at the financial year 2023-2024, as Judiciary, you are allocated 392 billion Ugandan shillings, of which you do have 108 billion earmarked for wages. You do have 220 earmarked for non-wage, and then you do have a tune of 63 billion Ugandan shillings earmarked for development. When we look at that, what is the budget allocation, and is this money enough for you to do what you've mandated to do and committed to do as Judiciary in this financial year?
You see, we have to be mindful that we are not the only institution in this country. We have to be mindful that there are other institutions that also are fighting for this money. So what is important is to see what has been given to us and utilize it for the purpose that was given to us. Make sure we avoid wastage. Make sure that we account for the money given to us. And it would be very ungrateful for us to say, this is little, this is not enough. No, you will never have enough. What is important is to have what I call a balanced mentality. To have a positive mind that you have been given this money. What can it do? Can we deliver as planned? For me, I don't see big problem. We shall utilize it as been given to us, and we have got work plans which have got clear outputs, clear activities, clear performance indicators, and clear time frames. As I have told you, when you look at these Twin Towers, me, I talk from what I do. I told you before that we shall be on time. That's a deliverable. If we said 4 years, the Twin Towers are there. Vehicles, I promise they will do this. 4 years, down the road, the vehicles are there. I promised even that we shall have insurance. It's insurance. Now every staff member has got insurance. When you are sick, you go to hospital with your insurance card and you are treated. So I don't want to have, you know, I wrote a book recently called Unchained. That book, I wrote it because I noticed during my tenure in the service that every time people are crying. No money, no money, no money, no money. Hey, stop crying. Use what you have to deliver what you are supposed to deliver. If we don't have enough money, nobody is going to hunger you. But also be creative, be innovative. Think out of the box. How can you do things better? You can still do things better if you have got a positive mind. So unchained means that I'm not in chains. I think freely, and I have a positive mind. That's why you see things moving on here, because of that positive mind. And I wish people could have a positive mind to use the opportunities that they have to deliver service.
Dr. Bigirimana, we want to find out from you, what are the priorities of the judiciary in this financial year 2023-2024, given that we have already stepped 1 month into the financial year?
Oh, many priorities for the judiciary is related to what I've been telling you. One is to complete these twin towers. That is going to be done. Without fail, we shall do it. That's number one. Number two, continuous replacement or recruiting new judicial officers. Already 10, 11 are going to be sworn in. But we shall also continue to renovate the existing structures. Like we are going to handle Mbarara and Fort Portal and Jinja. We are going to renovate Entebbe, Nabweru and Kapchorwa. We are going to renovate Amur. We are going to renovate Aduku. We are going to renovate Ngora. We are going to complete construction of Lyantonde, of Rukunjiri, of Soroti, of Abim, of Patongo, of Kalenga, and then we start construction of Tororo High Court. So, and we have got money in the budget for purchase of vehicles. We're also going to purchase vehicles for these newly recruited judicial officers. So, we've got plans. We've got plans. And I'm hopeful, as I told you, abundance mentality. I'm hopeful we shall be there.
You have made mention of the word opportunities. What opportunities are there lying in wait for the judiciary to actually get a hold of and use?
First of all, the opportunities of having the Administration Judiciary Act. It's a very great opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Two, of having recruitment done for these newly younger judicial officers. Three, of having supportive, input by the president. By the way, the president has been very supportive. We should not take it for granted. It's an opportunity for us to demonstrate that he's not supporting people who are rating him down. No, we must deliver. And we must deliver really to, not because we want to please anybody, but because the people of Uganda require this service. You and me require these services.
You did make mention of alternative sources of power. I know that in some remote areas there's been power shortage, and you did say that there will be a solar plant that is given to 10 courts. We want to understand, how is this actually going to be helping with court operations, and how is it going to be affecting the quality of judicial service delivery?
First of all, what I've told you about ECMIS. ECMIS is more reliant on power. The moment we don't have power, then people will find it difficult to file judgments. So we shall go solar in those courts. Actually, we have taken a decision that we should phase out generated power using generators, and we use solar power in those courts. After all, solar is always there. There is sunshine here from Monday to Monday. So why can't we tap the solar and the power offices, even the computers, even the other equipment? So we are going to have the solar as an alternative to diesel-generated power.
You have also mentioned more construction that's going to be happening. More court buildings are going to be coming up in various parts of the country. The bigger question is there land to avail? Is there land that is already available for these constructions to actually kick off? In some cases, land
is being given to us. I can mention Mbarara, Guru. In fact, I have got so many offers that I'm finding it difficult to process it. But we have got land from all over the whole country. So what we need is to secure the land and get land titles, and then start construction in phases. As I told you, we shall not get money to build it. It would be also being so demanding to say that you can build all the courts in one financial year. That's being insensitive. It's like you are like a greedy child who thinks he should eat all the food and the others suffer. No, let's use what we have and use it properly.
Okay, Doctor, when all is done and dusted, I know that in between there's underlying challenges. So talk to us about some of the challenges that continuously are faced by the judiciary.
Challenges run from, of course, manpower. That's number one. I told you manpower is a challenge because we don't have enough staff. So we find in some places there are gaps. Then we have also got issues to do with the other players in the justice system, the chain, lack of staff in those institutions. Talk about DPP. We need DPP's presence in these courts because if we don't have a good state attorney, cases will not take off. And CID to investigate the case, hand over to DPP, DPP prosecutes. So if we don't have those people, Attorney General's office in the courts, we need state attorneys in the court. So inadequacies among those key justice system agencies is also affecting us. Of course, transport, visiting locals, inadequate court infrastructure, and so on and so forth. We think that these challenges are not insurmountable. We shall continue to address them as we move on. As I told you, we have had a lot of support from finance. I told you the many vehicles we have bought. I told you the recruitment is going on. So although there are challenges, as I have told you, they are not insurmountable. And we shall live with them and we shall overcome them with time.
In terms of the ICT advancement that you're deploying in the judiciary, what areas of Uganda remain least covered with judicial dispensation?
There are those we call hard-to-reach areas and hard to stay. Especially those courts in the islands, the Kome Islands, Kalangara, and so on and so forth. Those areas are very hard to reach, and those who go there sometimes find difficulties in staying there. But as I told you, for me, I think all the time we should find solutions to such a places. Now, for example, we are trying to see how we can buy a motorized boat to be flying these islands. So it is easy for someone to move from here to Karangara, from here to Kome, from here to... So those hard-to-reach areas will be also given fair treatment.
Doctor, what's your call to action for corruption? Because it has become a stench for us here in Uganda. And I know that in the judiciary, it's also been very, very loud and clear. So how do you intend to fight corruption out of the judiciary? The
introduction of ECMIS, Electronic Court Case Management Information System, is the starting point. Because person-to-person contact has been an avenue for people to get corrupt. A file is brought and it disappears. Let me tell you, sometime last year, but one, there is a file that was being looked for in the Court of Appeal. Do you know that some people had hidden it and arrested one of them, put him in jail. He slept there. Next day he was saying, no, let me come and tell you. I said, come and tell me. So he came and said, actually, it was not me. There is somebody who was handling it. But this person is on leave. I went for the person who was on leave. When this person knew that things were becoming hot, because I was telling CID to open up a case against them. So this person comes to the registry, moves here, moves there, moves there. So, oh, the file is here. Really? Did it have legs to move from one shelf to another? Somebody must have hidden it there. So for me, I have no compromise on corruption. Those of you who know me, know me. Those of you who don't know me should know me. Anything to do with corruption, we shall. Now, ECMIS is going to sort out a few things to do with corruption. Number two, we are strengthening the inspectorate so that we've got visits to these courts without notice. Actually, I have now provided 3 pickups, double cabin pickups to the inspectorate, and I'm going to give them more so that they can move and check on what is happening. Absenteeism, people who are not attending to clients, they're in trouble. 3, we have provided uniforms to all support staff, especially process servers and court clerks and drivers. Why? Because in some courts, you would go and find a person dressed very well, and he tells you he's a magistrate. And he's suspecting clients end up giving money to these people. But you public also must be careful, because you are the ones corrupting even these magistrates. You are the ones who give them money. Why do you give them money? And when we tell you to report people are corrupt, you say, oh, you know, we hear, we see. Why don't you help us and give us at least confidential information? Because if you don't report these people are corrupt with evidence, then it becomes difficult to take action. But in spite of all of that, we have had some cases who have been dismissed, others have been interdicted, others are facing disciplinary action. If you check with the Judicial Service Commission, you will see many of these. I think the other day you saw even somebody who was arrested when he had not even taken an oath, a magistrate in Rira. So, corruption can be fought. And I have been at the forefront. But I'm also saying that you and him and her, all of you, should also be corrupt-free. Murokoke, because even the public is responsible for this corruption. I wish the public could stand up and say, we are demonstrating against so and so, because he took money from me, so that you name and shame. But we have also opened up hotlines. These younger ladies can give you the hotlines. Don't you have them? Yes, we have. You write them down. So these hotlines have been established so that if you see or hear anybody who is involved in the corrupt tendencies, you report. And there are some cases I have handled personally because people have rang me. There are some who have brought even some evidence, which I have used to have some people's disciplinary action taken against them. So let's work together. You in the media, you are our eyes. Actually, you are our ears. And because you reach out to people, you should be able to ring me.
That was the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Dr. Pius Bigirimana, giving us his 2 cents on the judiciary, reflecting on the previous financial year, 2022-2023, and what they hope to achieve in this current financial year, 2023-2024. The bigger question is, what plans do you have? Are they written down, and are they achievable in this current year 2023? That's a question only you can answer, but we're going to be taking a breather. Thank you so much.